Hello, good day everyone. Today we are going to be looking at grid system layout or grid system basics. Grid system what basics. So let's go into the directory I created, which is grid system basics. We have the index.html. In my previous video I do show you how to make directory. When you go to your Visual Studio Code, you mk cd into your desktop, then mkdir the name of the directory you want to create, then cd into the directory. So that was how I came about this directory called grid system basics. So now inside my index.html, the first thing I'll do is the exclamation mark, which I've told you before in my previous video. So I'll be giving the title grid system, grid system basics. So I've given this title, so let's save. So I'm going to be running this using live server, but firstly let me come into the body and start with the grid system. The first thing I'll do is to create a general div named div.grid container. So in here I'll be having my I'll be having my first div, which is div.grid item. The grid item will be here, grid item. So in here we'll be having the first grid, which is in number 1. So I'll copy, shift out, down arrow key. So in here we'll have my 2. In here we'll have my 3. So I've created the div for the system. So now let's go and go to our use. Before I said when you want to see the result of your work, you go to where the directory where this file is, and then open with Google Chrome. But there's an easy way. You can go to your extension and download live server or install live server, which will easily run your code in a port. So now I'll come here and click to run server, and I'll wait for it to respond. Say server started at port this 5500. So you can see my grid 1, 2 and 3. So I've not styled them yet, so now I'm going to give them style. I'm going to do an internal styling. So let's go back here and continue. So now I'll come to my head and start the styling. I'll give a style, open style tag. Then in here I'm going to start with my grid container. So the first thing I'll be doing here, dots. I'm supposed to use dot because it's a class. Like I told you before, dot is used to represent a class name, while hash is used to represent an ID. So a grid container, the first thing I'll be doing is my display grid, then grid template layout and grid template columns, which is used to create columns. I'm going to give it a repeat. What does this mean? It should give it a repeat. I need 3 columns, right? Which is 3. Then it should all be of equal sizes. So that's what this grid template columns is trying to, with we repeat 3 and 1 fr is trying to give us. So I'll give it a gap of 10 pixels, and that's all for the grid container. So let's save and go to our live server. Let's click it again, go to live server and see the results. So you can see after styling the grid container, which is the general container, you can see that the 1, 2 and 3 are now in a grid form. They are now in a grid form, because we use display grid, and we use a template grid template column, which we put them in each column and of equal size. So now let's go back and continue to finish the styling. So what we are going to do here is dot grid item, which is for each container. Got dot grid item. I'll give a background color of light coral. Then I'll give a text align of center. Then I'll give a padding, or let me give a padding of 20 pixels, and let's give a font size of 1.2 em, and let's finally give a color of white for the text. So now let's save and go to our and click on our live server, go live server, and wait for it to respond. So you can see we have finally made our grid system layout, where we have the grid 1, the grid 2, and the grid 3 in their own position of equal size. So thank you, and see you in my next class. I hope you understand what we have discussed about grid system basics, and you know what a grid is. You know the equal arrangement of containers, and you know grid is part of a CSS cascading style sheet styling. So let's close the section for today till meet you in my next video. Thank you very much, and God bless you.